Well, good morning, everybody. Check this out. Just poured some hot coffee. It's sitting on the counter. What's happening to the temperature of the coffee as it just sits there on the counter? Of course, it's getting cooler, right? But what about how fast it's getting cooler? Is it getting cooler faster just after you pour it? Or is it getting cooler faster after it's been sitting there for an hour? What do you think? Think about it for a second. Can you visualize what's happening? Now, let's say we wanted to draw a picture of the situation, of the temperature of the coffee over time. Well, what would the x-axis be? And the y-axis, what about it? What would it be? And now let's say that the temperature of the room is 78 degrees. Can you visualize the situation? How cold is the coffee actually going to get? Let's take a look at a graph. So here we have temperature over time. Let's go ahead and start the video. Oh, wow, look at that. So the temperature is dropping, and then it seems to kind of level off. So it seems like it cools faster at the beginning and really slows down over a little bit of time. Look at that. Cools really fast and then slows down. So I've got a couple questions for you. That green dot, do you recognize that the green dot means the temperature of the coffee, and that the blue line right here, this blue line would represent the trend of the temperature of the coffee over time? And what about that red dot, the dotted red line right there? What about that dotted red line? What does that represent? And does the green dot ever touch the dotted red line? Does the temperature of the coffee ever reach the temperature of the room, say within, I don't know, an hour? What do you think? Let's take a look. Let's go ahead and move the temperature of the coffee over time. It gets closer and closer to that dotted red line. Let's zoom in and see what happens. Oh, look at that. It's getting closer and closer, but it doesn't get there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the concept of a limit. As time moves forward, the temperature of the coffee is decreasing, and it's approaching the temperature of the room, but it's not going to get there. The temperature of the room would be the limit. Now, of course, this isn't a perfect example, because over a long enough period of time, it would work. But I just wanted to introduce you to the idea of a limit. A limit is what something can approach, and over time it gets closer and closer and closer, and the change is changing more and more slowly over time, but it doesn't quite get there. So, a couple questions before we part ways. First one is there another example or another situation that you can think of where a limit exists? What about for you personally? Is there something that you experience on a daily basis that's got a limit? And what happens to the change as we approach that limit? I'll leave you with those questions right there. I just wanted to introduce the concept of a limit before we even get into any of the math. So I really hope this helped you to get your head around what a limit is and how they work before the math itself gets all kind of confusing and ugly and you get lost in the algebra and lose the concept. Hope you have a great day.